All right, let's get this going, man. Hey, how's it going? So I'm talking today about, as you see in front of me, the MC-707. Almost said 17. Yeah, there's a new box, MC-717. Y'all missed it. It's awesome. All your dreams will come true if you buy it. But no, I just kind of want to do this because I'm getting back to my 707 a little bit. Been doing some VersaLab videos on my channel. VersaLab? I think I called it VersaLab, but anyway, whatever. The other Roland box that right now is sitting right next to it. Just have something in the background. This little clip here, but I kind of have a smattering of clips on this project. I was kind of just on the couch one day messing around, building a song in a way, or sort of the way I would do it on the 707, which is very different than the VersaLab, right? And there's some inputs, outputs, the scatter. I mean, there's some other things that, like, MC-707 goes to the next level past the VersaLab in some ways, except for the having a vocal in, direct vocal in, and all that vocal track like the VersaLab. But the other main difference to me is like how, to me, they inspire me to write songs differently or build songs differently. To me, the VersaLab's better for, like, if you just want straightforward songs with set parts, verse, chorus, intro, that kind of thing. And you don't need a whole bunch of, like, morphing or experimenting to get there, That's what it's great at. But if I want to, like, sit there and kind of just slowly build a song by parts, I think the 707 is great for that, and mainly because they aren't tied, the clips aren't tied to, like if I go right now into this mute view, the way you can kind of move through song parts on the 707 is through scenes, and right now I'm in scene type 2, which I kind of prefer. So basically it's like 16 scenes per bank, and then you get eight banks using the scene buttons, which is nice because just generally you can just use these buttons here most times, and you're just playing around. You're probably not going to have more than 16 scenes, but if you ever do, you can even put like other totally different song ideas on the later scene banks if you want, just to keep them separated. And you can scene chain where they'll just automatically play through them all. So but I think, like, by default, if you don't set any scenes, let's say you have your rows here, you have your 16 rows for the 16 slots per 8 tracks. For clips, you can only play one clip per track, obviously, but so the default is the scenes will just go from row 1 to row 2, row 3, row 4. And again, if you're, if you kind of, that's probably the visually easiest way to do it, to where you can sit there and just kind of have, kind of like I have here. If I would just had 4 scenes and some tracks just don't play on that scene, that's cool. That's one way to do it. But of course, if you do that, then you're locked into only, 16 combinations, right? Which is really the boat that you're in on the VersaLab, So, which is, again, for most normal verse, chorus, bridge songs, that's great. But if you want to have a whole bunch of little, like, parts just as little small fills that only happen once, or, and things morphing in that way, then kind of mixing up clips. So you can mix any combination of clips, as far as on the row, as long as there's only one per track, right? So I could have, like, the top 2 clips here, and then the third clip down the next row, and then the second clip down the next row. Those could all be a scene, and kind of group together. The other thing that's nice about this is that you can, as you're experimenting, because it's sometimes a little tricky turning on and off clips, I'll show you, but as you go. But in a quick shortcuts are, you can either mute the whole track real fast on the mute mode here. Mute mode, the top starts or stops the sequence, so I can stop these right now. Okay, now they're stopped. If you can see the small screen, I don't know if you can or not, but it kind of goes to the grayed out gradient. Then I can bring them back in. Right, so what I was going to do actually is save these. I just had these 2 as a starting beat. I'm going to save this to a clip. Here's what's cool with that type 2 scene saving. It's real simple, man. It's just hold the function button, hold the scene. You're already in bank 1, so this would be like 1-1. So hold function, just press that, store scene 1-1, right? So now we got this as the first scene. Now, you know, you can kind of slowly add this, like I got this bass line here, or bass synth, whatever. So I want this to be scene 2. So I'm just going to function button 2. Got it. You know, now when you chain them, you can actually say, if you want to actually have them auto change, you can set each one to repeat so many times or whatever. But people were griping like, oh, there's no song mode on the 707. It's pretty flexible, you know. I mean, the only tricky part is if you, like, let's say you have some scenes here, you want to move them later in the song, you know, to copy them over there. Copying is easy. You just select the scene and then do the same function and, you know, basically paste it onto whatever scene you want to move it to. It's really not that hard. But if you had like 3 or 4 scenes that are part of like a verse and you need to move them to later in the song, you know, then it's a little less convenient than something like the verse lab. But anyway, we got this is the second scene. So if I go to my clip view here, you can see I'm on this row of clips, the top one. The ones I changed the colors, I think, from the original, but you got the blue for the playing, orange for the not playing. Right, like, and I can scroll down on the big wheel, the value wheel, and you can see it changing to row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. So the top row is always matching whichever one's up here. So that's a way to change, you know. So in this one, I really want to play, I really want to switch to this. There's a little bass add-on here and the beat change. So we'll just kind of start those clips. 1, 2, 4. You know, there we go. So that's cool for a scene 3, right? So now I gotta go back to my mute. Function 3, stored scene 3. All right. Now, if you're curious, does it really work? So let's go back to scene 1. Nice. We'll change to scene 2. And then kick the groove in with scene 3. Oh, this makes me laugh because I just saw the Tron movie with Trent Reznor. I think they did the whole soundtrack, and I just came out of that like in the mood for like dark brooding synths, and like this kind of like vibe takes me to a place like that, you know. So yeah. All right, so you know, now we got this going. Nice. I can bring the whole thing down so I can talk a little bit over it, so you're not just driven to death by it there. But go back to the clip view. Yeah, now we can try to throw in some other parts, and this is where you can kind of experiment. And again, like sometimes in these cases, I'll do all these parts at once, and it's like a bunch of layers. I'm trying to get better at that, and then kind of I've seen people do videos about the subtractive method of arranging. You know, you kind of write more parts than you need, then kind of chip away until you find what goes. So I think this one, if I recall, is going to be a good little lead line to add to this, to go somewhere. Very creepy 90s gangster rap vibe. So I like that. Let's move that to, I think it's scene 4 is where we're at now. Did that save it? Let's see. I think so, but we'll double check. Cool. So let's say I want to take 3 and copy it to 5 just so we can go kind of in and out of that, you know. So now we're at 3. We go to the lead line. And then back. Like that'd be a cool spot to throw in some like samples or something. some speech samples or something, stuff like that. So go back to our clip view. We had that option. Let's hear some of these others that we got. I think this one's a piano. So this one, here's the tricky thing. So I just turned on these two clips on this first row. The tricky thing is you can't just press them again to turn them off. It more keeps restarting them, right? Triggering them. So you got two options. You either have to scroll down to find the nearest, you either have to change to another clip, which I don't want to do, or clip out of these guys on an unused clip, which is what I end up doing. Now I go up, now it's not on, right? Another thing you can do there, let's say I turn this guy on. If you go to the mute screen here, consider this top row starting and stopping the clips per track. It'll mess your brain up because you're thinking it's on a certain row. No, because again, you can only play one clip per track. So when you go to this screen, it doesn't care what row you're on. It's going to stop. It sees a clip is playing on this track. I want to stop it. Boom. So now I think it's still selected, so I can turn that back on. It'll turn right off. Now let's say I go to clip mode here. Let's see what this is in this other one. Just another random lead line, right? But now if I go to mute, so it just turns off that same clip. So again, it looks like it's on the certain row, but all it's doing is just really activate any playing clip, deactivate any playing clip. I kind of had to get my brain around that, so but that's what happened. Let's see what this one has. So we'll make that. I think right now we're on 6. Yeah. Now in reality, I don't have a fill or a build or anything drum-wise, but that'd be a perfect place to throw in a slow snare build, some kind of riser or something. Again, I just got to work with the parts I had the other day. I'm mainly just trying to show functionality more than build the most amazing song the world's ever seen. So now we got that for 16 on this. Let's see what we got on our drum beats here. Just more mellow, straight snare. It's a little ride. See, I did it. I started that one again. Barlow and turn off. Go back to there. Yeah. Trying to remember what this guy is. There's a little tom roll at the end, like it. Alright, sorry. Let's go back to, I think we ended on 6. Let's do this to 7. Now you'd be kind of cool here. I feel like kind of dropping some pieces, so let's go. That's kind of cool. Just now you gotta remember that. This is the tricky part. Remember where the hell you are. I think I'm on 8 at this point. Let's go with 8. And then I kind of want to go back to what was on 3 and 5 for 9. Alright. Okay. So let's test it out. See if it all worked. just try to get it anytime before the next measure. I think I have it set to master clock to 16 steps, which is 1 bar basically. Man, I love that groove. I really want to experiment more with that, kind of like 2 or 3 very simple parts, so you don't have to have a trillion layers, but just rhythmically intertwine them to where they form a cool groove. I mean, that just right there, man. It just feels like I'm like searching for the bad guys in a futuristic movie. So, you know. But anyway, at any point we can go out of this, you know. Stop all our clips there. I actually ended up with, let's go down here on this last row. I came up with a whole different thing, different key and everything. And again, the cool thing is with the faders, I can kind of like, let's say I get to a part like this, I don't remember what the heck is what, you know, I can just sit there and, oh, that's a dope patch, man. I turned off quantizing, so I get this little da-da-da-da. But it's cool, it's like a little violin, but then there's like a delay on the left side, and then like a bigger tone in the back. Trippy. And this is always a favorite of mine. Granular pad off one of the sound packs. It fits in everything. There's not really a track it doesn't fit in. But yeah, I mean, it's just the faders are cool for just experimenting. You know, let's say, by the way, another thing I love about this, some people talk about like, well, the problem is that, you know, if I do sound per clip, which is what I have on all these tracks, are set to sound per clip, so you can, I mean, every clip is its own thing. But the trick with that is the volume levels may be wrong. So some people don't realize this, and they're like, okay, for this, I really need these down, you know. But then if I go back to these other scenes, like, you know, it doesn't work, you know, because now this is down. I gotta adjust it really quick. So let's say you're in here, and you just feel like the balance among this track is too loud, right? So we're gonna hit press and hold select. While you're holding it, you have level, pan, delay, reverb sends. So, and that goes away after a few seconds, so if you don't move it, but it's controlled with these 4 knobs. So I'm gonna do select. Sorry, it's so loud. Bring that down. So I'm gonna hit select, move my level down. Now compared to the rest, it's more like in line. Pretty good. I might bring it up a tad more. But dude, like, that's so genius to me, man. Or again, you want to mess with the panning. Which, by the way, I love like setting up auto panning and stuff on stuff. Tracks like this, strings or pads or something. Pretty chill. That back down. So yeah, man, I mean, I just kind of wanted to show you the ease of use with that stuff. I mean, I say easy of use, but you still have to kind of like, especially the difference between the clip and the mute screen, you really got to kind of get a handle on that. And you can also start and stop clips up here, right? So I can go over here and on just the grid up here. So I'm gonna turn like this one off. forgot. The same thing over here. If you press enter on a selected trip or clip that's playing, it's just going to re-trigger it. So you'd have to actually go to like one that's not playing. So now I'm going to move up to this. Not that. This might have been with that mix. Again, right now that sounds too loud, right? For the lead line anyway. But yeah, man, like, so you can have like different clips and parts that are like completely different vibes and just kind of build this one giant palette out, you know. And then the cool thing is, like, down the road, you know, let's say you have just rows worth of clips and only certain ones go together. You still got this whole like smorgasbord of stuff you can choose from. You know, you could like clone the project to just save, you know, those other clips, and then, you know, pull them up later, use them. You can actually save each individual clip, and that's something I like to do. Owning this and the Verse Lab is I can experiment and write cool parts with kind of that free flow in the 707, you know, and then move that over to the Verse Lab if I want, you know, like to be part of more of a more normal structured song. Or, you know, sometimes I'll go the other way, right? Like, because the Verse Lab's smaller, and I could do both battery powered. 707, you need like a ripcord or bird cord or whatever they're called, and a giant USB battery. Works well. I actually have dual lock on the back of mine, so I can have it on my lab, battery powered. But the Verse Lab's a little easier because it has, you know, direct USB power you can use. So I just also have a dual lock to put a battery on the side. So big fan of dual lock and batteries, by the way. So yeah, I'll do another video. I want to do a video on bringing a mic in and kind of show how to stack effects across tracks. Is one thing I want to do, and then another one I want to do is show how to kind of build songs purely with sampling through the looper, and then, you know, get them on drum tracks and some gotchas there. So anyway, hope this helped you at least visualize the flow of clips and scene launching and saving and all that. So use type 2 scene saving. It's so much easier, and just the function in the sequence button, so easy. Like, there's other ways to do it that I've seen people do in videos, and I'm like, why are you hurting yourself? This is an easier way. Just do it this way. So anyway, thanks all for watching. Have fun. Enjoy some future content down the road.